Tits and bums. Tits and bums,
And
arseholes. Willies and arseholes.
Yeah.
What a welcome, what a warm welcome. My lips are dry and I can't open my Vivi Balm. I've opened it.
You got some more Vivi Balm from Vivi
Yeah.
the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were there
I'm
last
fully
week.
equipped for the winter. Now I have my Vivi Balm. That's Vivi Balm.
Oh God, Cleo Lane. Used to love her. What was her Johnny Dankworth and her daughter? Oh, what was her daughter's name? Cleo Lane.
Oh gosh, now you're asking.
Oh, Mum and Dad would remember.
Yeah, well,
yeah. What's her
can't
name?
ask them now.
No, but I can ask Google. So yeah.
As good as a parent.
Yeah, sometimes.
Joking. Let's kick off with today's show by saying this show is called
Sunday Chat.
My Hands Are Bloody Cold. They are. It started. Just can't go on.
He has been whinging about it being cold, yeah, and snuggling up at night.
CGO syndrome.
What's that one?
CGO syndrome. That's what I've got. I just can't go on. Anyway, bloody
dear.
welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Yet again, it's a little bit of a different show this week. I know I've been doing the daily vlogs. Well, I started the daily vlogs last Sunday, did one, and then
Didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my CBA,
CBA.
forgotten the thing that I invented.
Oh dear.
My CBA kicked in and I couldn't be arsed.
I've got hairy ears, I think.
That's disgusting.
Oh, no.
Chop them off.
Yeah.
The hairs, not the ears.
Not the ears. No.
So, yeah. Let's kick off with Richard and Paul's weather report. Paul, what is the weather like? It's cold.
It's gorgeously sunny at the moment. It's gorgeously sunny. I was working at the plot this morning, Saturday, and yeah, it was absolutely lovely. It really, really was. When the sun goes in, it's a bit chilly. But yeah, apparently we're going to have an Indian summer.
Well, we keep hearing this and we have said it before.
Well, you have. Yeah, I don't think we are going to get one.
Well,
no.
apparently it's going to be cold, damp and not so great this week, but then October, it's going to be
Better. Yeah.
Apparently. But I think the most important news of the week is I've had a haircut before we do the weather report.
Yeah, you have.
I've had layers, my friend's done it for me. I'm really pleased with it, although I'd quite like to go a little bit shorter next time.
What, shorter?
Shorter.
Maybe you should just
short
sort of
layers.
shave it all off.
No, I don't want to do that. I've been there before. Don't want to look like an egghead. I've done that, look. Well, I've still got hair. May as well celebrate it.
No, she was
Don't you
saying
think?
yesterday when she was cutting your hair, she said, I thought your hair, Paul, was thick, but Richard is thick at the back.
At the back it's
really
very thick. I have a thinner area here, but...
Where you're balding.
I'm not balding, I don't think I am. I'm just a little thinner here now. I'm very, very lucky and I'm grateful every single day. No, I am. My dad had quite good hair till quite late.
He did, yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinning around here, definitely. And you know, you have that thing where you're in the bath and you know, you pull the plug out and there's this sort of like small furry creature over the outlet.
Well, we all lose our hair every day. It's not completely normal to lose hair every day. That's why you shouldn't wash your hair every single day.
Well, I don't. It gets
it
washed
just,
about once a week.
You know, but giving the scalp a massage is good. Rosemary oil is good. Use a carrier oil.
What's a carrier oil?
Well, you should never really use... Well, I do. but you should never really use oils directly neat on the skin. You should use a carrier oil like sweet almond oil.
Oh, I see. Yes,
Yeah.
like Vivi in her calendula balm.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
However,
Calendula.
and
oil.
don't do what I do, but I have used neat lavender on the skin on a burn. It's extremely effective on a burn.
You mean lavender oil?
Yeah, lavender oil directly on, straight on. It gets rid of it very quickly.
They used to suggest you put butter on a burn,
No.
but that's just sort of like oil. It doesn't help, does it?
Okay, let's just talk about treating burns. Minor burns.
Minor.
They should be run under a cold tap to remove the heat until you can't stand it any longer. That's what you should do. Then, one can use diluted lavender oil onto the burn and it will aid healing. I use it neat, but that's me.
And obviously,
I
if it's
haven't got
not
sensitive skin either.
if it's not a minor burn, A&E.
A&E.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. There's Richard and Paul's health advice for today.
Weather report, health advice.
Well, we haven't done
What
the
comes
full
next?
weather report.
Oh,
It's
we
been
haven't,
a changeable week.
Changeable.
Changeable week.
In a whole load of senses, actually. Yeah. But weather, it's
Breezy,
been
sunny, rainy, torrential rain, storm, extremely high winds at one point.
yeah.
Wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It's quite frightening.
And warm if you're in the sun.
Yeah, that's it. That's Richard and Paul's weather report. So, those of you who follow us on Planet Vegetaria will know the major news this week. The sad death of Paul's mum, Mary,
Yeah.
on Monday.
Yeah.
So
Unexpectedly expected, basically. Yeah. Mum hadn't been. Mum was 91.
Yeah.
And I think Mum always wanted to be one of those 91-year-olds that was still playing badminton and still playing tennis. But actually, that it hasn't been that way for very many years. And as you know, last year Mum went into a care home into Les Ormes in Guernsey, and they've looked after her incredibly well over the time that she's been in there. Though of late, following her heart attack about a month ago, Mum's had a few times she's had COVID, she's been in and out of A&E, and then on Monday morning she went into A&E, she was there for a few hours, came back to her home, her room at Les Ormes, and that afternoon she died. So yeah, and it's what Mum wanted, you know, she's been saying for quite a long time. Certainly, you know, a number of years actually, that she's had a really good life. You know, she was saying, I've had a really good life. I had a fantastic husband. I've had lovely children. You know, I've got grandchildren, great-grandchildren. All of that is absolutely fantastic. But since Dad died, the last 3 years, I think Mum has really missed Dad. And she said, you know, without the mobility and without being able to get out and do things herself and with others, yeah, she was happy to fall asleep and not wake up. And she's been saying that for a couple of years now.
A couple of years, and sometimes in the middle of dinner.
Yes.
I'm quite happy to die now.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. And I thought for many years, I mean, I and we have been incredibly close to my parents, you know, and of course your family as well. And I did think for a very long time that I would sort of fall apart when Dad died and when Mum died, because they have always been such a pivotal part of my life, and not only just sort of in person, but also in the things I do, the things I like, and the way I live life as well. And when we met 30 years ago, Richard sort of became that as well, and there's never been any sort of friction, has there?
Became.
Well, no, we've worked together to very much have the lives that our parents wanted us to have, and that mum in particular wanted us to have. And I think I've been processing. I thought I would be absolutely devastated, and of course there were plenty of tears on Monday when the news came through for my brother. But that sort of quickly abated, and even though there's been many times where there's been tears since, I've been preparing myself for this moment.
Well, we've been talking about it for a long time, haven't we? We've been
absolutely a long time.
We've been sort of. There's been many times we've kind of thought, oh, gosh, it's going to be soon. And also when we used to pick them up from the airport, from both Gatwick and Southampton. We are still recording, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just had a thought we weren't. From Gatwick and Southampton, we would always say, oh, we're expecting them to come round the corner and look really old, and and they never kind of did. And well, I mean, they looked like older people, obviously, but you suddenly expect them to look really, really poorly and ill. And even after them being ill, they'd come round the corner and we'd carry on. So I've talked to you many times and said, look, Paul, you need to start thinking about the time when they're not here. Start just mentally preparing, because it does help.
Yeah.
It does help. And I think it's also quite different losing a parent when they're older than,
absolutely.
say, when I lost my mum, which I was 28 and she was 51, 52. 51, nearly 52. And that was a bit of a shock, even though she'd been poorly it wasn't that long a time. It was what they call a short illness. But yeah, it's a different thing. It's the expected way of things.
Yeah. Yeah, your parents we all get older, your parents get older, and then your parents go before you. And I remember, when my brother Perry died, which was many decades ago now, totally unexpectedly in a car crash, there were so many comments, so many people said around that time, it's not the way of things for, a son or a daughter to go before a parent. And for most of us that doesn't happen. So it is the way of things. Yeah.
And I think everybody deals with things differently. And I think also, like I said to you the other night, I think it also depends on the amount of direct contact you have and the daily impact on your life. So if you're caring for somebody or you are living with them, I think it can be a different experience.
Absolutely.
I think because, that person maybe relied on you, you saw each other every day, that's not a measure of how close you are, obviously,
no.
Because closeness is maintained across distance anyway. But, that can have more of a deeper impact on you. And if you're with somebody when they die, if they have a difficult death, that can be more traumatic, So in this instance, yes, we were close to Mum. We saw her as often as we could.
Not as often as we would like.
But as often as we could, given other commitments and finance.
Yeah.
But, we were regularly in touch, virtually spoke to her every day until recently. But you weren't directly caring for her.
No.
You weren't having to do, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think also, it's about your own level of maturity and about your thought processes as well. I think one was certainly for me, I have to be as philosophical about these things as I can be, because actually I'm quite an emotional person, and can be prone to bouts of crying that don't stop for hours.
Yeah.
The last time I can remember was Uncle Dog's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I cried from start to finish all day and felt so ill. Migraine, swollen face, just... And I couldn't quite put my finger on why that was such an impact that day. So I try to keep things under control now, I don't mean, uber control, don't cry, that's bad, nothing like that. I allow tears to come, but I try to move forwards quickly.
Yeah.
Because I just feel terrible when I've been crying.
All
this rubbish
washes you out.
All this rubbish about, good cry does you good. It doesn't do me any good.
Well,
it might help you to maybe express, but I think there are other ways to express.
I think again, everybody is different, and
I'm talking about me.
What is a good cry? A good cry might be. The other day I was in Lidl. I've said this on a week at the plot. I was in Lidl and I got to their Christmas aisle where they have sort of like marzipan and spiced biscuits and things like that. And this was Tuesday morning, and I thought, this year I'm not going to be sending a Christmas box of Lidl goodies to Mum, because Mum and Dad used to love having a little box of goodies, of their marzipan, their biscuits, chocolates, all from the Lidl Christmas aisle. And I had a few tears in when I was in Lidl, and this lady said to me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Oh yes, actually I am. My mum just died yesterday." And she went, "Oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah." And we had a quick chat, and then we sort of parted and went on with our day. And I've had moments. On Wednesday afternoon, I was sitting down, Wednesday morning, I was sitting down at my desk, and I thought, it's 11 o'clock, I better call Mum, I haven't spoken to her for about 3 days. And then, of course, there was that realisation that wafted over me, that is not going to happen again. There is no need to call Mum because Mum is no longer there. And there's been a few of those times in the last couple of days. It's quite funny how when you get into a habit of doing things, that breaking that habit takes quite a while. So speaking to Mum as often as I did, I guess it'll be a few more times before I stop thinking, I better give Mum a call.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between shedding a few tears and having a sob.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think the last time I sobbed relentlessly here was the cats.
Yeah, yeah.
For days. That was awful. And that actually I think has probably been the worst, losing the cats. Because, again, you're with them every day.
Close proximity.
You're in close proximity. You are giving and receiving love on a daily basis with an animal. And they rely on you. And you rely on them as well. I mean, they're a huge source of comfort and joy. I think actually losing the cats has been worse than any of the humans.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
And I don't think that's weird.
No, I don't think it's weird. I think it's important around death to appreciate that people just deal with it in different ways, and some of those ways you might feel, and I have felt in the past, have been a bit wallowing and indulgent. But you know what? If that's how they need to deal with it, how other people need to deal with it, then that's their bag. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like to feel ill around those kind of things, because I think it's counterproductive and can lead to other feelings of depression.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to. I think it should be a celebration of that person's life when they die. You know, celebrate their life and remember. You know.
I mean, we're fortunate that, you know, Mum and Dad have both had a really fabulous life. You know, fabulous in the context of the life that they enjoyed and they wanted. You know, don't mean sort of, you know, celebrity openings and, you know, galas and things like that.
They went on quite a few nice holidays.
Oh, they did. They enjoyed. Yeah, they had a couple of good cruises and things. And of course, they had West End openings with me. They came to several of those, and yeah.
But I think they led a fairly simple life. I mean, we lead a simple life.
Yeah,
we really do. You know, our life is simple. It's small. It doesn't have a big impact on the environment and huge amount of other people other than you guys. You're the biggest group of people that we are involved
by
with.
By
far.
And then for me, the allotment and new work.
Yeah, and work, of course, you know, I work as part of a large team. So, you know, we were talking about this the other day in terms of socialisation. We don't tend to go out. Somebody said to me at work the other day, you don't go out for dinner? I said, no, we cook better at home. You know, whenever we go out for dinner, we're always disappointed.
Usually.
You know? Yeah,
usually disappointed.
You know, we don't have a huge circle of friends. We
don't want a huge circle of friends.
No, who can maintain huge numbers of friends at our age? You know, no. So we lead small lives. We have a small impact. And that's kind of how we like it, you know. We have neighbours around here that we are, you know, we have acquaintances, as we all do. But yeah. So anyway,
there we are.
That's that news.
That's Mum. Yes, that's
And also, just to say, somebody, we don't know who, but somebody sent us a huge bouquet of lovely flowers.
Yeah.
Well, sent them to Paul. And they were addressed in a little envelope by Interflora, a little envelope with nothing in it.
We have no idea who they're from.
No idea who they're from. So if it is one of our friends that watches this, then thank you very much. We just don't know.
No.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and thank you for all of your comments on Planet Vegetaria as well. You know, just lovely. Mum would have loved reading all of those comments as well. Yeah.
So let's move on with the show. So I didn't do any vlogs this week because I just couldn't get motivated to do it. How's my working week been? Thank you for asking, Paul. It's been a full week, Monday to Friday, full on. I was knackered last night.
You were, weren't you?
I was absolutely shattered. Just busy. Not continually busy. Quiet moments, busy moments, blah, blah, blah. That's it. There's nothing else to report. Just work. How was yours, Paul?
Thank you for asking, Richard.
You're very
after
welcome.
a little prompt. I had a really interesting course on Thursday, an online course for funding for CICs and charities and how to write a proposal and things like that. And I've been on this type of course many times, and it was really interesting, this one, because it was a slightly different take. it was about really trying to get the core of what you do across, rather than, whilst at the same time ticking the boxes that needed to be ticked. And I thought it was really good. It was quite long, and because there were things that I was talking about with my brother with Mum's funeral, I was worried I wouldn't be able to gain from the whole day, because it was 10 till 4 with a 45-minute break. But fortunately there were two 15-minute breaks, and in those times I was able to do other things. But yeah, it was interesting, and there were some interesting people on it as well, so I was quite pleased about that. I
Good.
thought in the morning, oh no, can I really do 10 till 4? And
Yeah, that's a bit of a long one.
it was, yeah, and in the end it turned out that it was 10:30 till 4, with, as I say, a few breaks, but it was good and well worthwhile. And I came away from it with 4 things that I'd never thought about before. So that was interesting.
God, if that was a training course at work and started at 10:30 till 4, I'd expect to be let out at 3:30. Really?
I think we
Really?
finished about 10 to 4. It was
Yeah.
a little bit early.
Good, I'm
yeah.
very, very pleased for you, Paul. I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's been a busy week, and it's also been a busy morning this morning. We woke up around 7, 6:30, 7.
Yeah.
I did some chores last night, did the bedding, put a wash on, because everything's got to be crammed into the weekend, because back at work Monday. But this morning I wanted to do a few things that I had on my list, a few winter preparation jobs around the house. I wanted to move the leather chair into the middle room, bring the green sofa, the teal sofa,
The blue sofa.
back in here. So that's been done. So that's a bit of an operation. Move the big sideboard over to the other side of the room, in the middle room, because during the summer it sits in front of the radiator, but of course you don't want that in the winter, so you get the benefit of the heat, what little heat you're able to afford. Not this winter.
I'll come on to that in a minute as well.
Yeah. And I also wanted to get some more washing done this morning. So it was quite a busy morning.
And you
then
had a bath and
I
washed your
wanted
hair.
to wash my hair. My hair really needed a wash, and I needed a good bath and a nice shave and a scrub all over. That was lovely. I enjoyed that
Including
bath.
your bits.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Scrubber.
Yeah, so that was lovely. But it's been a busy day today, but okay. We're seeing a friend tonight for dinner because her sister's over from France, so there's going to be a few of us this evening. So that's going to be fun, something to look forward to. I'm all ready to go. I'm going like this.
I need to have a bath.
Yes, you
so
do,
I'll
'cause
be
you
having
smell.
a bath later. Thank you. Thank you. So I've been at the garden this morning, at the allotment this morning,
Yeah.
doing various things. So I did that, which was fine. We're having a few issues with our padlock at the allotment at the moment, in that it's not working very well.
Oh God, that's
So
just
people
a
are getting
perennial.
locked in or locked out.
That's a perennial issue. Your bloody padlock at there. What do people do? What do people do? Take a hammer to the padlock
We
each
have
time?
a very active WhatsApp group when people can't get in or out. It seems to have got worse in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It really does.
Well, I think you've got some heavy-handed people down there.
I think there are. There are people that I totally agree with you, Richard.
But this is the thing about any premises that houses a lot of people. It's the same at work. I deal with the facilities management at work. I'm the one that calls the jobs in when things need doing. And I had to call a plumber guy yesterday because one of the ladies' loos was blocked, and the other one, the toilet seat had come off and was broken.
Your toilet seats seem to come off and get broken relatively.
Well, the one
regularly.
downstairs, I fix that back on.
Oh, you're
I
very
fix it.
clever,
I get my
Richard.
gloves on and I fix it back on if it gets broken. But I said to the plumber guy, I said, you were quick. He said, job done. He said, basically, somebody stuffed too much toilet paper down the loo. It was a local blockage. And I mean, who uses that much toilet paper? This has happened before. People stuff all sorts of stuff down toilets. It's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly. So anywhere where you have a lot of people with a lot of usage, these things happen. Things break.
There we are. A code, a push button code has been suggested, but that would need a lot of sort of installation and welding and that type of thing. I don't know how that would work outside.
Or it depends
either.
Depends on whether it's a manual button or an electric.
Well,
button.
I know. I don't know.
Manual buttons are quite easy to install.
But
you've got a metal gate.
Well, we've got a metal gate that opens, so it would need to be welded on, and the gates sometimes, gates can fall, and if they fall a millimetre, will it throw the whole thing out?
It will.
So, but we've got a very simple. We used to have a much more complex padlock, which a few people had issues with, and I never had an issue with. But everyone has agreed that this very simple padlock that we have now is just not working at the moment.
Okay, anyway, I'm going into a coma now.
Oh,
really? Aww. So we were touching on winter and sort of preparing the house for winter, just making it a little bit cozier. I also moved a light, changed a light in here so I could move this sofa along a little bit. I know, I'm so good. But we're obviously thinking about energy. And you wanted to talk and share something about Octopus energy, because we moved from Shell to Octopus recently because there was a bit of a deal going on.
Well, yeah, so we moved from Shell on the 28th of August, and shortly after we did that, and we put readings in for electricity and gas on the 28th of August, got the confirmation through, and then about 5 days later, I get an email saying, because you haven't input meter readings, we're going to take the meter reading from Shell and match it off against ours, and that's all. And I went back and I said, no, the meter reading, it's on your system, it's on the 28th. Anyway, they came back and apologised profusely that yes, they did have the meter readings, I shouldn't have received that email, blah, blah, blah. Then this week, on Thursday, I get an email and the heading is something like, energy prices to decrease by 8%. And I thought, woohoo! I knew that they were falling, that was great. So I started reading the email, and it said that the energy price cap was falling generally by 8% for people, and blah blah blah, and this is a good thing, and blah blah blah. Therefore, your direct debit will be increasing from £180 a month to £205 a month. It's like,
hello.
What?
Oh.
So the energy price cap is decreasing by 8%, and you're going to put our direct debit up by 15%. So I drafted an email and I sent it off to Octopus, and I got a really nice response back swiftly, explaining that they were taking into account that energy usage is higher in winter months than it is in summer months. So I sort of thought, hang on, no, you've got a forecast there of exactly how much we've used in the last year, so therefore you'll know what we're likely to use in the next year, which includes heavier usage in winter months already of January, February, March, earlier this year, and December last year. So I went back and I said, I don't understand this, please could you explain how or why this is happening? And they came back, very nice email, very swift, good customer service, basically telling me exactly the same thing. So I have now gone back to them and said, not why prices are supposed to increase for us, but how. How have they determined that with an 8% decrease in energy costs, ours is going up 15%? They have now agreed that they're not going to put ours up, but I still want to know, how have they determined on all the information that they've got that our prices should be going up per month. I don't get it. So I'll keep you informed about that.
So I think the moral of the story is always make sure that if you receive a communication from your energy company and they're claiming X, Y, and Z, do the maths and work it out. I mean, even I, after you read it to me, could understand that didn't sound right, and my maths is terrible. So question and query these things, because they will rely on the fact that most people won't read it properly and will just continue and accept whatever's been said to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they gave me a valid reason, that I can't think of one, but if they gave me a valid reason, I go, okay, well, maybe we should pay a little bit more. But with prices decreasing and them already being forecast,
blah, blah, blah.
No. No.
We just wanted to mention that.
Well, I did, because I think it is important.
Useful. It's useful, but it's nice. It's different. It's unusual.
I mean, getting an email saying that prices are decreasing, therefore we're putting yours up.
Yeah, you've said that 4 times now. I think people have understood it. Thank you.
You don't expect your prices to go up if you get a communication that they're coming down, do you? No, you don't.
Tits and arseholes.
Willies and bums.
So, Heist update. We've taken the house off the market now.
Oh, I was going to do a mime then. I was going to do a...
Sorry, too late. Too late, too slow. House is off the market for the winter. We've told the estate agent. They have said, oh, we've still got... No. The house is off the market. That's it. No more viewings now.
I think we're here for 2 years.
No,
that's
don't
where
be
I think...
saying that, Paul.
Well, I said I didn't think... there we go.
Don't be saying... It's pointless to say that.
Yeah.
Because actually, we have absolutely no idea what the future will bring.
No, we don't.
And I'm not in the business of projecting my thoughts and fears into the future. I'm in the business of being in the moment. That's it. House is off the market. That's it. We're going to enjoy or endure winter. Who is it? Is it important? Apologies for the interruption. That was a family friend calling who Paul hadn't spoken to about Mary.
Yeah.
So that was an important call to take.
Yeah, and it's a person that we've known by very bizarre circumstance since Mum and Dad got married in 1954, and they came over to the UK for their honeymoon on a cheap ticket, because Dad worked on British Rail then, on the boats, and therefore you didn't have to pay for fares or anything. And I think the person just said it was a Duck and Goose pub that Mum and Dad were staying at, and sadly the proprietor's son had committed suicide, and Mum and Dad turned up at the pub where they were staying, where there were rooms, and the chambermaid said to them what had happened, and she said, but I've got a spare bed in our loft so you can come and stay with us. I mean, can you imagine that, 1954? So she gave, this lady gave Mum and Dad directions to her house. And the person who just called is a daughter who was 8 or 9 at the time. And she opened the door and she said, Mum says your bed's upstairs. So Mum and Dad stayed there in this person's loft for their honeymoon. And when Mum and Dad had the guest house in Guernsey, they would go and stay at the guest house in Guernsey, and that relationship has just kept going over 70 years, even surviving them emigrating to Australia as a whole family, but then half of the family, this part of the family, coming back in the 80s, I think it was. So yeah, gosh. You know, what a twisted web of life we often have. Lovely though, lovely.
Well, yeah, the more things that happen in life, the richer your history becomes, and the connections and all of that. Blah blah blah.
And it's interesting because the person I just spoke with, we were talking about how they are at the moment, and she said, we're happy in what we're doing. We live a small life, which isn't that interesting, because that's exactly what we were saying a short while ago. Yeah, there we are.
Anywho, we better get on.
Yeah,
because time is ticking on here as well. You've got to have a bath.
I've got to have a bath.
You need to put that hot water on for a little boost.
Because I smell. Yeah.
You do.
So what's the next segment, Richard?
Television.
Television.
What have we watched on TV this week? It's been quite a good week for TV. We started the new Star Wars series.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Yeah, it was okay. It's Star Wars. Very Star Wars.
I think it's very Star Wars, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was okay. Things happening, people shooting things.
And things going bzzz, bzzz, bzzz,
laser guns and laser swords and things. And people and effects.
Yeah, all of that. And robots.
I did like that little pussy though.
Yeah,
that was a sweet little weirdo alien pussy.
Yeah, it didn't have very hairy legs, but it was very sweet.
It was very sweet. I hope it's okay.
I think it will be. Yeah, she'll most probably sort of, take it on, won't she?
I hope so.
Yeah.
And have it on her spaceship.
Yeah. What else have we watched? Oh, we watched Caroline Quentin, National Parks. Which was quite interesting. I wish, in these programmes that one watches now, I wish they wouldn't have sort of, flit from place to place. I wish they'd just focus on one place and how wonderful it is, and then the next week do another place and how wonderful it is, rather than telling you little snippets of 6 different places. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I like Caroline Quentin, and I think she's looking grand. Yeah.
I follow her on Instagram. She doesn't follow us because she doesn't know who we exist, basically. We also watched Tim Peake, who is a British astronaut. Secrets of the Universe or something.
Secrets of the Universe.
Yeah, and it was okay. I think it was good as a sort of basic introduction to those things.
Well, there weren't any secrets, were there?
No.
Really? It was just mainly what we know already, packaged up with Tim Peake, who is an astronaut.
Delivered in a very Channel 5 way.
Yeah. So,
mediocre.
There was that.
I like things to be complex and interesting.
Yeah, but
I knew everything he was saying.
Well, exactly, but you can fall asleep sometimes if they're too complex, but not if they're interesting. You won't fall asleep, usually.
No, it depends on the pace. Some of the Brian Cox ones are just far too slow.
And the music is so sort of big and grand. Yeah.
Yeah. We watched the Antiques Roadshow.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. Which I love. Now look, I love the Antiques Roadshow. I love Fiona Bruce. I love all of that. But, oh God, she's popping up every 5 seconds. They keep doing recaps and coming up in a minute. And she'll say, in a moment, we'll be having a look at what Peter bought in. Blah, 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 But first, here's Janet with a Moulinex hand blender that used to belong to Nigella Lawson.
That would be great if that was one.
Oh, and look at the people in the queue. They bought in all sorts of shit.
Yeah. And the medals one is one that I mean, he gets so excited, and I know it's his bag, and he's passionate about it. But I think medals are all about death. They're all about war. So I can't really get that excited by them.
No, but Fiona, she's almost like, royalty, isn't she? She walks the crowd. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, you've got a bit of plastic tap there. And the guy with the golf clubs. They weren't antiques.
No, he said that they're modern tat, celebrity tat.
I mean, really.
Ballesteros or something.
So it was all a bit sort of weird, and you have to sort of press fast forward if you've recorded it for like 5 minutes at the beginning because they're telling you everything that's coming up.
Doing that now on it,
Again, another program doing that. We don't need a preview at the beginning of each program.
No.
Really?
No.
What,
no.
to keep us interested?
Yeah. Well, it bores me. Yeah.
Crazy. You watched that Live to 100
Oh,
thing.
yeah, on Netflix, Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones or something, which actually is all something that Jon Snow did last year. I think we talked about this programme, about Jon Snow, who was the Channel 4 news anchor for very many years. He went and visited these places where people live to 100, and this guy is basically following in his footsteps.
I mean, who wants to live to 100 unless you're really super fit
and
don't have any major health issues and you've got mobility? Otherwise, no, kill me now. Not now, but do you know what I mean?
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
But there we are. That was that. Yeah, I don't think I'll watch anymore.
We started
Adventists. They're visiting some Adventists in California.
Yeah, whatever.
That's the next one.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't be watching that. I don't talk like that, Paul. We started a new series called Midnight Mass. Well, I don't know whether it's a new series.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Stephen King, based on a Stephen King.
It says based on 2 Stephen King books, or inspired by 2 Stephen King. I'm not sure, but it's
very Stephen King.
It's very Stephen King.
Yeah,
it really is.
So
and enjoyable.
Well, that's debatable.
Well, I'm enjoying it.
We continue with Schitt's Creek. We've almost finished.
Well, we have finished.
Did we finish? Did I fall asleep?
Yeah. I finished and I cried.
Murder, She Wrote. We continue with in our lunch hour.
Oh yeah. What was it? The one that we watched today was where it's her cousin, her English cousin, who's a vaudeville music hall singer. And she goes to visit an old friend, Lord so-and-so, so-and-so or something, Viscount, before he dies. And it was really funny because when shows like this are supposedly set somewhere else, they do an episode where this is set at a country mansion in England. There's usually a local film crew who go out and film the bits for it, and you have 2 actors in this case who one pretends is made up like Jessica's cousin, and then the Viscount is somebody else, and you see them driving along, and we saw them driving along this road, and we both went, that's West Wickham, and they're driving into the gates of West Wickham House, and you may have seen us at the mausoleum where there's a huge gold ball on top of a church, and there's the Hellfire Caves underneath and things like that.
I don't think we've done a video on that.
Haven't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, we should have done.
We might have done. Yeah, maybe we'll pop up there at some point and do a little video.
But they drive in. The Rolls Royce drives in, and you see 2 people in the front, and the Rolls Royce drives in, and then it opens up to this house.
Which is clearly in California.
And
you can also note, you can see the difference in light.
Yeah, it's a very different light.
We don't get light like that in the UK.
No, we don't.
Do we?
No.
It's very different.
But it is funny whenever they're sort of at an Irish country estate or English country estate, and you get the local footage. Yeah. And it sets you in that, and then suddenly you get to the house, and it's like no house that you'd ever see in England or Ireland or Scotland or Northern Ireland either. So, yeah, or Wales. So
that's it for television. Sorry it's been a little bit different this week. I know you've been getting used to the daily vlogs. There will be sort of, I don't know,
you'll see how it goes.
Interruptions in service for the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Yes.
Let's put it that way.
That's a fair way of
because
putting it.
there's stuff happening.
Mum's funeral, things
Yeah.
like that.
So we're going to be sort of, out and about.
Yeah.
When possible, we'll take you with us. But Sunday chat
Sunday chat!
should be as normal.
Yes.
But maybe a little bit sort of different.
Not normal.
Or not normal, or maybe normal. Who
Yeah.
can tell?
A new normal.
What's normal?
What is normal? Yeah.
What's abnormal?
Yeah.
Who can say? So that's it for today, because I need to get upstairs and get this edited and get it put out.
And I need to get in that bath.
You need to put the hot water on first to give it a boost, because otherwise it may be lukewarm. You're all right, Paul. Calm down
I
now.
quite like that.
And then we're out to a friend's for dinner. Lovely. Have we got any fizzy in the fridge?
Not alcoholic, no.
We got non-alcoholic fizzy.
We've got non-alcoholic fizzy.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I'll have that tonight.
He'll have non-alcoholic fizzy. I'll have that non-alcoholic fizzy. Yeah, it's a really nice one. We'll go into that in great detail.
Is it the no secco?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no secco rather than prosecco.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Thank you, bloody thank you. Thank you for all the messages of support that you've given Paul.
And you.
Well, and me, of course.
Yeah, you can thank people as well.
But it's been very kind of you. And again, thank you to the Phantom Flower sender.
Yes. They are lovely, and they do smell absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. So take care, toodle pip, au revoir. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.